Here we are. You're a conservative rabbi.
I am.
I'm an evangelical pastor.
Thank you for coming up to New York to see me.
Yeah, and we're in this historic synagogue here. So what are we doing here?
Well, you wanted to talk about the Torah.
Yeah.
So.
You're a rabbi. You're not a priest, are you? Is it the same? Is it similar? How is it related and different? As Christians, I would say that I am. We believe in the priesthood of all believers, at least as evangelicals, meaning that in some sense, because Jesus is our great high priest, he is now, the language is torn the temple veil in two. We can enter directly into the presence of God. We can speak to God with Jesus representing us on our behalf as our mediator, and therefore all of us function as priests under him, the great high priest.
Where does that say, torn the temple veil in two? Is that in Scripture?
It is.
I'll look that up. That's
yeah.
good. That's a good line.
Yeah.
I would say that classical Judaism has certain small vestiges of the priesthood. There are certain commandments that are priestly specific, but the biblical priesthood doesn't play an enormous role. So there's a blessing as part of the daily ritual. Numbers chapter 6, Aaron and his children are supposed to bless the people and say,
Lord bless you and keep you.
Or as Bob Dylan said, may God bless and keep you always, may your wishes all come true. And so in Orthodox synagogues, the people who are descended from Aaron, of which we've kept that record,
Really?
recite that blessing, mostly in Israel.
Okay.
Outside of Israel, it's only said on holidays. In Israel, it's said on a daily basis.
Do they actually know Aaronic descendants? Is there some?
They're family traditions. By the way, they're family traditions, and a DNA analysis find that self-reported priests, self-reported Kohanim, do appear to have some familial linkages going back to First Temple times. So I myself actually am a descendant.
Really?
Yeah. So the priests say those blessings in synagogue service. The priests are supposed to avoid dead bodies, supposed to avoid cemeteries, which I think is in Luke and the Good Samaritan story, right? He's the priest who doesn't want to touch the guy who's bleeding on the side of the road lest he be contaminated. That's not putting that commandment in the best light, right? He's a priest who's so concerned about ritual punctiliousness that he doesn't stop to save a life or something like that. But in the main, I would say that the vestiges of a priestly system are fairly small, and that overall in the history of Judaism, we have tended not to want to focus so much on lineage and wanted to focus more on behavior. So a rabbi is much more conceived of as a teacher, somebody to help you figure out what questions to ask, how to think, and what to study, rather than any kind of intermediary function. And the priest has a diminished role, I think, overall in post-biblical Judaism.